I'm 24 years old. I live at home with my parents. I don't own a car. Last year I made $151,000. That was income, so minus expenses and corporation tax, it'd be about 100K. I made $100,000 last year, and what's very, very interesting about that is that in May of last year, I received the last payment of my universal credit of benefits. I was literally on benefits. And I ended the year making 100K. So obviously most of the money I made June, July, and then onwards. I'm often asked so many questions by people of why do I live a life like this? Why don't I buy like a fancy car and watches and shit? Why don't I move out already? And I want to go into a long, like detailed rant about the lifestyle that I see a lot of young people get into, especially when they start making some money. If you're very wealthy and you have the level of wealth that you don't even need to think about purchases, you don't need to watch this video. This is specifically for the people who don't have enough money, which is the majority of people. There's a quote from Fight Club, which is, the things you own end up owning you. And that's so entirely true. I am so grateful and lucky that I came and just found the wisdom of people who are far smarter than us. Multi-millionaires, successful people, scientists who have shown, like time and time again, that purchases don't make someone happier. They don't give any sense of fulfillment. That's purchases on materialistic things like the fancy car and like a lot of the shit that young people spend their money on. It seems like every person that I meet who's my age has a car on finance, and they proudly show me their car. They proudly say, oh, it's only a few hundred. Like, you just stole money from your future self and you're proud about it. You couldn't afford this product. They had to allow you to have the product when you didn't have the money for it, and now they're going to charge you hundreds, thousands more over the 4 years. Like, it's going to take you 4 years to pay off this car. And that's normalized. I'm not wearing, I'd literally just ordered it, but there was a chain that I wanted, right? I've literally just ordered it today. It was £30, £29. I promise you right now that I wanted that chain for longer than a year. Every now and then when I'm on Instagram, I get the same advert, which has got like 15 million views by some company called Crafted London. And it seems like the go-to store that I would now go to buy like some kind of jewelry. And I like wearing this stuff, right? It's £30. I wanted it last year. I've seen the advert at least 10, 15 times. And every time I see it, I'd be like, it's like £30, £40. Why would I even spend that money right now? And I was like, just today, after the last week of like fully thinking like, yeah, I'm probably going to buy it. You know, I'm going on holiday soon. It looks good on some pictures and stuff. I was like, yeah, go on. Why don't I treat myself? Today was actually supposed to be kind of like a shopping day for me. I'm going on some trips. And recently I've been using my phone a lot more for content. So I'm a full-time YouTuber, if you don't know me from the main channel. I have like 260k subscribers. And I record with a camera, but recently with Instagram Reels, I've been recording on my phone as I go about the day, you know, like getting into the gym and everything. And so the idea was, I have an iPhone XR right now, and you can get like one of the new ones, and they've got better cameras. This phone's breaking down. I'm one of those guys who literally has like a fucking cracked phone. Let me show you something. Do you know what's interesting about this cracked phone? I didn't do this. When I bought this phone, I was making more than $10,000 a month, easily. Probably more like 15, 20, right? I bought this phone for £150. I bought this phone broken, secondhand, because I refused to pay £1,000 for a fucking phone. I still wear the trainers that I bought over a year ago for £30, and there's like a small little fucking hole in the tip of the left foot. The trainers before that, £25 pre-owned. I wear the same fucking bathrobe for most of my videos. And I really don't want to sound like a dick here. I really, really don't want to sound awful, but I've got to say something kind of blunt. It scares me when people who are a lot less successful than me, people who have a lot less money than me, people who are a lot more stressed out, who are a lot less happy and fulfilled, they think that I'm doing the wrong thing. The average person thinks that I'm doing the wrong thing. Why? Because they're addicted to instant gratification. They don't meditate. They haven't built a fucking body like me. They don't know the 7 years of discipline of pain, pain today for growth tomorrow. So when the average person sees me living at home with my parents and then hears about my income, they almost get like this sense of like hatred, disbelief. They think I'm lying. I don't know, but if you were actually making that much money, you would move out. No, you would move out, not me. I will move out at the end of this year. Once my income more than doubles than what it is right now, I'll move to London. Why would I move out to some random fucking city like most guys do? It's not the place that they want to be, but they'll just settle. It's not the car that they just want, but they'll just settle. It's not the fucking woman that they want, but they'll just settle. Chris from the YouTube channel First Man drilled this into me, and it's such a fucking beautiful mindset. Don't stop at those interval gaps. Don't go and get like the fancy fucking car that you can afford right now, the BMW 3 Series. I don't know what the fuck about cars, right? Don't go and get that one. And in 3 years, go get a different car. And in 5 years, go get a different car. And, you know, building up to that, like the picture that you jack off on your wall because there's a McLaren or some bullshit that I've always wanted the fucking Porsche, bro. Like, save up and get the Porsche. Or even better, don't even fucking get it. But the idea was, stop going with the interval gaps because that's the shit that makes you broke. I could have moved out a while ago and moved straight to like one of the decent cities in the UK. And everyone, including you, if you're one of my boys, you're watching this right now, you would have considered me more successful if I moved out last year. I want you now to just take a second to think like, fuck, like, yeah, I probably would have. If Hamza, like, you know, did a little fucking move-in tour and like, oh my god, he's rented some fancy place in like Manchester or Liverpool or something, you probably would have thought like highly of me compared to me just being sat in my fucking childhood bedroom. We moved here in 2008, something like that. This is the same bedroom, bro. So I could have moved. In my mind, honestly, I was kind of like, I wasn't really considering it, but it did pop into my mind that I would move to Manchester Media City because I've lived there before. It's such a fancy place. Everyone would have thought, like, everyone would have been so proud of me moving there by myself. It's like a full one bedroom apartment. It's so fancy. You're living next to celebrities. Everyone would have looked up to me. But I didn't, because that isn't the ultimate place that I want to go. If I'm going to move out from my family home and start actually spending some fucking money to like rent, to stop like investing in someone else's business instead of mine, I'm going to make sure it's like the ultimate thing that I want. I'm going to make sure it's the best place that I can go to, which is going to be in London in the UK. So at the end of this year, if you care to know my plan, yeah, at the end of this year, close to 1 million subscribers, that's when I'll move out and I'll be renting a place which is like 3,000 to 5,000 per month, which is really expensive when you think about it. But as long as your income is like 10 times more than what you're spending per month, I think it's acceptable. So you know that phrase, which is like, oh, if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. No, 10 times. And that might sound fucking ridiculous. Hamza, you're saying that your income in a year's time is going to be 30 to 50,000. It's going to be double that. I believe this month that I'm recording this video, February 2022, is going to be the first month that the income is at £30,000. This video is kind of hard for me to make because I actually don't really like coming across as like arrogant. I'm a guy who's actually full of like humbleness. There's stacks of fucking books all around my room. Like I know my weaknesses, but I also know my strengths. So if we continue on to this video, you continue watching, give me the permission to speak about my strengths without it feeling like, oh, Hamza's fucking egotistical or whatever, right? I talk about my weaknesses and my failures on the main channel, like every single fucking video, so you can hopefully tell that I'm not like some guy who's like full of himself or anything. I can acknowledge the strengths that I have, and one of them is entrepreneurship. I am a fantastic entrepreneur. Some people say that this is luck. And there is an aspect, 100%, like, you know, YouTube, social media, every piece of content is like a lottery ticket. You don't know which one's going to blow up. There is definitely an aspect. But I get disappointed when I see comments like that, like, oh, Hamza, but you got lucky on YouTube. No. Bring a kid into a basketball court. Give him a ball. If he shoots and he gets it in the hoop, yeah, it's probably luck. Especially if he's never played before, right? It's probably luck. Let him throw 100 times. And if he gets one hoop, that's not luck, bro. That's fucking probability. Now let him do that 3 times a week for 2 years. That's not luck, that's not probability, that's training. Luck is like the weak man's answer to something that he wouldn't even try to do. Not to put down other creators, but the numbers of the main channel that I have, the data, like you can use some website to, like, see our data, is phenomenal. Especially like how the videos perform. It's Mr. Beast level phenomenal. Our growth, phenomenal. Our daily views match channels that have 10 times more subscribers. Channels that have 2 million subscribers get less views than we do daily. Per video, they of course get more, but they release 1 video per month or some bullshit, right? My level of influence, of leadership, the fulfillment that comes from business like that. Why do I get to enjoy those things? Because I've refused to be an entrepreneur / make money like a normal person. Normal people make money and they spend money. They make more money and they spend more money. That's called lifestyle inflation. That's where your lifestyle inflates. As your wage rises or your income rises, your lifestyle inflates to accommodate it. And please take some time to have humility right now and think that you might be suffering from this, or you may go on to suffer from this when you do get an increase in income. And you, by watching this video, maybe wanting to be more like me, if you consider me like your leader or something, or just in general, you've heard this term before, and you don't want to be one of the spurgs who suffer from lifestyle inflation. You might have blocked it from your mind and said like, no, I'm not suffering from that. Trust me when I say you have to stay vigilant for this. The overwhelming, like, the world works in this way that when you have more money, you automatically spend more money. It's just how the world fucking works. How? Like, what specifically? You probably agreed with that statement. It's just kind of how the world works. If you have an income of 1,000 and your expenses are 1,000 or 950, and you're like, put away 5% or 10% or some bullshit, right? If your income goes up to 10,000, you would be so certain that you'd only still spend 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 3,000, and you'd save 7,000. You would not. Once your income gets to a very good level, so 10,000 may be too much of an exaggeration, but let's say in the area of like 1,500 to 2,000, everyone thinks that income increase would mean that they would save an extra 500 that they get to put into investments. No, they would not. Because the moment that you get that income increase, the moment that you get that promotion, what happens? You come and tell everyone and you're so happy, and then you go for a meal outside and you invest in that restaurant. And you buy that product that you really wanted, and you invest in that business. And on that phone, you invest in Apple. You invest in everyone else apart from your own company. One of the things that I'm so proud of is that for this business, this channel, I invested almost entirely in my own company. When my first video editor joined me, I was paying him, I believe, like 50p per minute of like finished video. So on average, quite literally, it used to be like £10 per video. 50. Obviously, the videos were a lot more basic then; they required less time. But you can see what we're at, okay? About per video. I still remember there was a message that I just recently saw. It was like £17. It's more than 10 times that now. Way more than 10 times. One of the normal videos is like probably about £200, and they're shorter. They probably require more time. And then I've also been adding new things where it's like to entice them, give them like bonuses and everything if they upload on a certain day and everything, right? So that obviously increases the expenses that we have here. And I have a big amount just sat in the business account and in a random bank account that I made, and I've pretty much just forgotten the details of. Obviously, it's saved somewhere. I have a fair amount. So I saved about 50% of what I made last year. So yeah, I can be unfiltered and completely truthful. I have about 50,000 just kind of sat in like accounts and some crypto. The investments that you can make back into your own business That is what fuels the life that you've actually wanted when you started thinking about making more money. There's a video that I've literally just finished watching, which has inspired me to make this video, and I'll link it below. It's from Alex Becker, who's the entrepreneur that, it's kind of controversial. I really, really liked the guy and looked up to him previously, and now recently he's just been making videos on like fucking crypto and like cringe videos and everything. But previously he gave some fucking phenomenal entrepreneurship advice. You can watch the video. I know for a fact that the majority of people who click on that link will click off because the video is kind of like, it's unscripted, the audio is a bit fucked, you only hear the audio on like one side. But I promise if you sit through and just watch the video and you give it your full attention, you'll realize some important things about business. One of them near the end, he talks about that business and entrepreneurship is all a competition amongst other guys. And the person who wants to make a lot of money so that he can go and spend on himself, you can absolutely demolish his business if you reinvest back into the business. The business that can win is the one that doesn't need to think about profits. Amazon has absolutely demolished all competition. It has literally dominated the entire world. Why? Do you remember those random facts where it would say like Amazon's like the richest company in the world, but it hasn't, like it's operated at a loss for so long? That's why. Total reinvestment back into the business, and now it dominates. As I was watching this video, it occurred to me the framework, the path, the journey that I would put you on if you are right now just getting started in entrepreneurship / wanting to like increase your wealth. Because it's a fantastic thing, and this video isn't to say to not increase your wealth, it's to say to drop your materialistic tendencies that you think will make you happy. I've got to definitely touch up on that point as well. Mention that. The pathway, focus entirely on income when you need it, when you're first starting off. That's kind of common sense, and it's what you're doing right now. Up to the point, anywhere $5,000 to $10,000 a month. You honestly, you don't even need more than 10,000. I know, and to majority of people, they're thinking, wait, what the fuck are you saying? Like, you don't need more than 10,000. How do I get to 10,000? Yeah. But I just want you to just keep this in mind just for a second. You probably don't need more than 10,000 for pretty much everything that you want to do. As long as you don't have materialistic tendencies. The stuff that you want, which is total freedom, fuck you money, you want to be able to travel and stuff. Travel and experiences is absolutely fine. Maybe I should have made it clear. This video is not about things of experiences, because those actually do increase your fulfillment. Being able to go out and, for example, go on a trip with a friend. That's like a lasting memory that actually does give you a sense of fulfillment, and research has shown this. It's purchases that we suffer from hedonic adaptation, which means that although we think that we'll be happy with a new product, we actually end up being the exact same, if not actually slightly lower, because we now have more responsibility. This phone, I got it for 100 or something pounds. Bro, I'm tossing this shit and I'm having fun just fucking playing around with this shit. If I buy the newest phone, I can't do that. If I buy the newest phone and I have this one, two alternate realities, and one gets robbed, in which one am I going to be way, way, way like more distraught? It gives you like a level of outcome independence when like you don't even care about this shit. Like it could drop and it's like, yeah, it's fine, bro. My friend Chris always says this to me, like in the gym, I'll just like throw it onto the floor. Not to like be a dick or anything, but like there's a level of confidence that comes when you don't really have anything to lose. The journey is then to focus entirely on increasing your income, and I've made another guide on that. The only thing that I can truly teach you to increase your income is the social media business. I can teach you like general entrepreneurship advice and mindsets and stuff, but I can't obviously teach you like a business that I haven't actually mastered myself. I have mastered social media, or I wouldn't say mastered, but I am like on the way there, definitely, especially with the influencing side. Make $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and then after that, focus entirely on value. So the few thousand that you want to make, because most people won't have to be that ambitious to pick that upper end of that. So whilst I said 5 to 10,000, the majority of people watching this, because most guys have got low testosterone, you probably thought, 2,500 is okay for me. Okay, 2,500. Once you've made that amount that you need to live like a comfortable life, it pays all the expenses, you don't have to work another job or anything, and obviously just saving some away, maybe helping your family and everything. You focus entirely on taking your business and making it the best business possible for the customer. So, for example, if it's like social media, you focus entirely on making the most valuable, the most helpful videos. That's why you see on my YouTube channel, I don't even try to sell that much. I could increase my income right now. I could do 3 videos where I really mention like, oh yeah, buy my course and all this shit. I don't need to. I focus on the value that the audience gets. Of course, there's some experimentation with that. We've done shorter videos, longer videos, unfiltered, edited and everything. But that's all in the purpose to give more value to the viewer, which is to fucking influence guys to be more like Adonis. When you can focus on value whilst your competition is focusing on profit, you dominate. Because my competition right now is still trying to sell fucking coaching and courses. And this is then how you secure long-term wealth, long-term growth for your business. Plus, the huge benefits are actually growing something that you know helps other people. And that gives you like this huge level of fulfillment. One of the things that makes us the most fulfilled is having good work to do, is entering a deep workflow state. Create that for yourself. Once you're not chasing money, you can create the exact tasks that actually give you that huge level of fulfillment. Then you're living that masculine fulfilled purpose, which is like, yeah, every day I wake up and I focus on this. Focus on money when it's a necessity, and then focus on value as soon as you're making enough. And enough is honestly a lot lower than most people actually think it is. No, that's actually wrong. The majority of people would actually consider enough. What I meant to say there was that enough is actually a lot lower than ambitious entrepreneurs think it is. Because the majority of people would actually think enough is like $200 more per month than they're currently making. But it's the ambitious young guys amongst us who are like, really fucking driven and everything. We're the ones who are saying 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month. I was literally saying 100,000 per month at the end of this year. And it is like, I know it sounds like stupid as fuck. I know it sounds unrealistic to, no offense, but it's reasonably unreasonable. And you, like, when I've mentioned that amount before, and it makes people do a double take, and people start commenting memes, and they're like, oh, cap, like, shut up, Hamza, like, all this shit. It's like, bro, tune in on a year. Because was it somewhat reasonably unreasonable for me to be making 10,000 like a couple of months ago? Yeah. Like, when I started saying, yeah, I'm making $10,000 a month now, guys. Sure, there was a few people who were, like, they would, blew their mind and everything. But the majority of people, I showed, like, fucking receipts. I showed, like, Skillshare payments, YouTube payments and all this. Yeah, they saw it and believed it, right? That was, like, 3, 4, 5 months ago. So is it unrealistic that for, like, the last 2 months it's been 20,000? No. This month, it's probably going to be 30,000. Is it then unrealistic to go from 30,000 in February to, let's say, 60,000 10 months from now? Let's say 90,000. I mean, it's kind of unreasonable, but it's not impossible at all. Why do I get to make that much when channels my size make 5 times less than me, 10 times less than me? Channels 10 times bigger than mine make about the same as me per month. Why? It's entrepreneurship. It's mastering your craft. Again, like, I don't want to sound like a big dick, like, not big, I don't want to sound like a dumbass or like, over-exaggerating and, being arrogant. In the modern world, we're not allowed to express our strengths because everyone, like, I'm done fucking giving disclaimers before I express some of my strengths, man. Because every time I do it, there's always, like, some fucking pricks who are like, oh, Hamza, you should be careful not to be too... No, shut the fuck up, bro. Don't be too arrogant. Or this isn't arrogance. This isn't egotistical, bro. Allow a person who has a strength to express that strength and talk about it without this. I know I'm going on a side tangent, but I swear everyone's a fucking pussy these days. And it's like, yes, there is value in being humble and having humility, but there's also value in expressing, like, something that you've worked hard for and actually just being saying, like, yes, I am very, very good at what I do. Like, 100%, I have a huge way to go till I master this craft and I get better and better. But I'm very, very good. I'm a lot better. This is where people start getting, like, iffy with what I'm talking, because it's like, oh, but you're comparing yourself to other people and you're not supposed to compare yourself. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Everything is a comparison against everyone else, bro. If you're one of these weird fucking people who are like, oh, I'm only competing against... Shut the fuck up. I'm only competing against myself. No, you're not. No, you're fucking not. Are you dating, or are you trying to date, or would you like to date? Would you like to have kids and like a woman or a wife or a husband? Yes. So then you're competing against other people. Do you want to make money? Well, then you're competing against other people. So shut the fuck up with this, like, this bullshit, like, fucking no competition. Everyone's got such low fucking testosterone. Like, my testosterone's not even that high, but I swear to God, like, everyone's got such low fucking testosterone. Any talk of competition, any talk of expressing your strengths and having, like, a level of gratitude for the progress that you've made gets instantly throttled, and people say that it's fucking arrogance or something. We need to start raising men up and say, like, yes, you go, king, tell us more about what you've just achieved. Let's celebrate it together, instead of these fucking comments where people are, oh, but that's ego. To shut up, bro. Rant over, man. So as I was saying, okay, why do channels at the same size as me, 200 something K, why do they make a few $1,000s a month? There's channels that have about 1 million subscribers. They make still half as much, like a quarter as much as I do. It's the skill. It's because I have the capacity to level up the skills that actually make this income. When you get to focus on the fulfillment of mastering your craft, which I've spent a lot of time, bro, the amount of fucking, let me show you the book that I've currently got, 21 Irrefutable Laws of, you know, got so much shit on my bed, bro. Gotta clean my room, Jordan Peterson. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. This is what I do for most of my day. You know, I've mentioned before, like, I don't really work that much. My work tasks still, even though I've increased them recently, my work tasks are literally like a couple hours a week. What I do with my time is I read and learn to improve the skills that I used in this business. I learn social skills. I learn how to speak to the camera. I learn how to be a better leader, better entrepreneur. Because I'm not focused on making cash right now. I'm not focused on any, like, dumbass business idea that's literally just a cash grab. It's not really made for the customer. It's not like value or anything. I don't make very, like, clickbaity type of videos. You know, instant money right now. I could sell so much more right now. I could tell each and every one of you, if I did like a hard call to action to my course, I'd make an extra $5,000 right now. However many views we have right now, if 1% of those people, which is pretty accurate, 1% of those people go and buy my course, I'd make a few $1,000s just by me saying that sentence right now. But I don't even need to say it. Because I don't need the money. That is such a powerful position to be in. You have no idea. This was actually an unreleased video of mine. I never even like made this video, but it was such an important topic. I should have made it. Where I said the real way to amass wealth, the real way to make a good amount of money is to not need the money. Which of course most people can't do because they need the money. If you don't need money, you can then choose the highest, like the best, the most fucking ripe fruit possible. The best things, like the best way to make money. You can choose that and only that. Because I didn't need to make money, I didn't do things that other YouTubers did every fucking time. I promise you right now, anyone who's in my sphere, my niche, self-improvement, productivity, I promise you right now, every sponsor that you see on their videos got asked me first, and we ignored, because my assistant Amy goes through the emails, we ignored every single one apart from one, which was a one called Shortform. I like their business, and I actually started using the app. Like, I still use it to this day. Ingrained into like our company very well. We got over 150, probably close to 200 now emails, these sponsorships. Each and every one would have paid me at least $1,000 just to come onto the camera and just kind of say a couple of sentences. Oh, this is why I play Raid Shadow Legends, or, you know, you should, here's this software that helps you stop watching porn, and all this bullshit that they wanted to pay me for. I'm not going to accept that shit. And yet, I see my competition accepting those products. Teach Henley, they're the fucking, like, I swear to God, when Teach Henley emailed me, I literally thought to myself, like, bro, I'm going to see this on, like, okay, right now they're marketing, they're doing influencer marketing. I'm not even going to reject them. I'm literally just going to leave them on scene. And I guarantee that I'm going to see Teach Henley adverts pop up on, like, YouTubers who are in my space. And that's exactly what happened. You might know who I'm talking about. There was a fair amount of guys who started like just doing bullshit like, oh, that's why skincare. So shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck. You were not using those fucking products, bro. You fucking liar. That's what they'll do. They'll cash out early because they need that money. Because they spend their time working on just making money instead of feeling like they have enough, and then they can level up their skills and secure long-term wealth. I'd like to raise people up, but I'm going to give like a hard fucking lesson. The majority of the YouTubers that you watch and enjoy will not be around for another 1 year. And if they would be, they'll be one of those dead channels that has like, 200k, 500k, and they get like 5, 10, 15k views per video. That could happen to us, but I highly, highly doubt it. We are literally on track to becoming the most popular self-improvement, like masculine men's type of channel out there that has ever existed. That is reasonably unreasonable. And that is where the long-term wealth comes in. Because I didn't need to accept these shitty sponsors. I didn't need to constantly push things that I was selling to you. And what's very interesting, if you watch some of my previous videos, like the old videos, I had to constantly push because I was just about making enough and, I wanted to make more so that we could afford the editor and everything. That's when I was focused on money. I was focused on money up until I started making about 10,000 a month. So if you go through the old videos, we go through the video and everything, and for the last like 1.5 minutes, I'm like hard selling. I'm almost begging you to buy my shit. I'm like, guys, if you pay me for it, I'm saying some stupid shit, bro, because I was desperate, because I needed money. And so what do you think that did to the growth then? Of course, it kind of enabled us to continue growing, so we don't really understand, this type of question's kind of weird. If you could go back in time, would you change anything because you still ended up at a position that you like? But there and then in those videos, the older ones where the last 2 minutes of the video is essentially ruined, like the video was ended and it's just me saying like, oh, but if you want my help on a one-to-one, good, but shut up, Hamza. And you gotta go click on the link in the description, huh? What do you think that did to like the YouTube analytics, like the data of that video? Obviously it tanked. So that actually sacrificed some of our long-term growth because I needed money back then. As soon as I got to 10,000 a month, I stopped thinking about money, and that's when you've actually seen like such a dip in my sort of salesman attitude. That is how you dominate. You will only get here with the right mindset, the right wisdom, and understanding the importance of minimalism. If you think you're like a little bit minimalist, then maybe you'd be, you'd benefit if you got more into it. Trust me when I say, like, you're not even close. Like, the majority of people spend so much like, this is all about money. This isn't even to do with like mental load and time. And if anything, that's way more valuable. The amount of time that you spend. Do you know one of the debates? So I could have bought a car a while ago, and there's literally this is my like newest journal, but in all the journals that I was filling out in 2020 and 2021, there would be different moments where I would literally start debating, should I get a car? And the level of fucking detail that I evaluated this decision, I am so proud of, because whilst everyone else thought, oh yeah, well, a car is like normal to get when I'm 18 or 20 years old. I need a car for privacy. I should move out for freedom. Freedom just means that you want to fuck a girl from Tinder. Shut the fuck up. Oh, but freedom... That's exactly what you want. That's at least 50% of the reason why like a young man wants to move out is because you want a place to fuck. And any guy who disagrees right now, bro, I swear to God, you just don't have the level of awareness to just admit that. There's other reasons to move out. That's one of the biggest ones. I would debate in excruciating detail, and I would visualize what would happen if I actually got my license and if I got a car. And I would say, like, you know what? One, this is an expense, and it's a few thousand. I assume, to be honest, I've got no fucking idea how much cars cost. I assume like the first car you'd buy would be like a couple of thousand, and then you'd get like insurance, which is like 1,000 or a couple of thousand or something, then like petrol and stuff, £50 a week or something. I was doing all this math and shit, but what the biggest thing I thought was, okay, the money is actually pretty insignificant. What's gonna happen to me and my behavior and my personal time? This is how I schedule my time. And I don't want to seem like an arrogant prick, but like, please let me know if you've ever seen someone else live a life like this, where their time is like literally set out in a timetable like they used to have in school, and I follow this as best as I can every single day. And there was a time for a couple of months where I wasn't living like this, and, you know, I was just being a fucking waste man. I retired and all this shit. But whilst I was debating getting a car, I was looking at this timetable and I was like, you know what? Getting this car is going to give me the freedom to be able to meet more girls from Tinder. Because at that point, the only girls that I would ever meet were the ones who lived locally, and they'd literally come and pick me up in their car, and then like we'd fucking like a park or some shit, right? Obviously, like, not when the children are there. And that's... But anytime I speak to a girl who lived like 20 miles away, 30 miles away, they live in like Manchester or Liverpool, I would always just get disinterested because I was building some fucking good things then. And I used to just think, bro, yeah, like I could go and fucking ejaculate, but that's going to be like a solid couple of hours. I'll have to get ready, I'll have to get trained, then meet her, then, you know, like fuck around for a little bit, and then actually like get to like why I'm there, like to sleep with her, then I get the train back. The total thing's going to be like 6 hours. At that point, 6 hours of my time was worth like more than $100. If I told you what it's worth now, you wouldn't even fucking like, you'd just think I was a dick. And so I would literally have these fucking debates in my journal. I'd be like, you know what? It will actually open up normal life that I don't want. Because I knew for a fact, like I had this level of awareness, I knew for a fact that I would begin to like date more, and I would like, you know, do more socially shit when I didn't actually want to, and I wanted to be focused on building this business. So what I've just said, that story that I've just told you, you most likely are on the same page, and you're thinking like, oh fuck, that's a pretty good idea. Like you had a huge level of awareness to think that if you did get a car, you'd become more social, you'd get way more distracted. Imagine that, but now on a macro scale with every decision that you make. You can certainly do this too far, and you can be like the guy who's like, you know, just solely thinking about his business, and that's what the video that I've linked below, that's what this guy Alex Becker does. But the thing is, we still fucking respect that. Seeing a guy who's so focused on his craft that he dedicates his entire life to it, that he does nothing else apart from that. And obviously our values don't align, and I'm thinking, wait, like he couldn't be happy because he's not doing X. But the thing is, like, he doesn't value that thing, he values this. He's living life exactly how he wants to. I was living life, and I still am, I'm still living life exactly how I want to. The majority of people can't actually say that. There is an opportunity cost to every decision that you make, to every purchase that you make. No matter what you do, you're sacrificing something else. The majority of people just think on like the first consequence, which is, if I buy a car, then I'll have a car and I'll be able to drive to places, and that would be fun. That's why the majority of people never make more than fucking $3,000 a month. That's the first consequence. The second consequence is, if I buy a car, I'll have a car, I'll be able to drive to places, and that will probably like take up some time. So maybe like on this Friday, I'd like, you know, I'd lose some time, and maybe I'd stay up late and stuff. That's the second order. The third order of consequences, this is where shit gets serious. That's the second one. So if I buy a car, you know, I'll go out, I'll spend time, I'll probably sleep late, I'll be, you know, sleeping with more girls and everything. The third order is like, okay, then what then? Well, then I'll be less effective in my business. I'll have less growth. If I have less growth, I'll be worse of a leader to speak to the boys. I'll indulge in casual sex, which will probably destroy my fucking soul. The fourth order of consequence, then you're thinking about the consequences of this. Most people stop at just one. Most people literally just think of the first order of consequences, which is, if I eat that cake, I'll get to enjoy the cake. Sometimes people slightly tick over this the second one, which is, if I eat that cake, I'll enjoy that cake, but then I might, you know, the calories and some shit. The smart people start thinking of 3 and 4. They're like, wait, if I eat that cake, I'll enjoy it, but then the calories, and then tomorrow I might have to eat less. Then the fourth consequence would be something like, tomorrow I might have to eat less. This is going to fuck up the whole week, and it's also going to ingrain the habit of overindulging in this fucking cake. It's going to counteract the progress that I was going to make in the long term. Every consequence, every action, that you take is bigger than that action itself. This is how decisions compound. And so many people are stuck in this like materialistic world where they so focused like on the newest fucking product. I was literally debating buying the new iPhone today. £1,300. I was like, it was in my mind for a while because I was rationalizing it as like a business decision, and you know, it helped me with the business because if I take better pictures and it's like personal brand and I get to record videos that'll be slightly higher quality, and I was like, what the fuck, bro? No one's even gonna fucking notice the difference, bro. And some nerds go, oh yes, Hamza, we would notice the difference because the iPhone 13 has a 17 pixel. Shut the fuck up, bro. No one's gonna notice it. Like the same video is gonna be recorded on the camera, but it's like, oh, but like the background random clip of me in the gym or something might be like a little, there might be like 4 more pixels on the screen. Why would I go give Apple $1,000 or £1,000? Why would I invest in their company instead of mine? I wish I could drill this into the young people around me, because I see everyone, like every single young person I see making stupid fucking decisions. You own this iPhone, you own that fancy car. You don't even own that car, bro. Come on, it's on fucking finance, bro. But you've got these possessions. You are possessed now. Now you're chained. Now you don't have the ability to focus on those long-term skills to master your craft, because you need to make money, because that car payment's going to come out today, and that monthly rent and the council tax, that's all going to come out because you chose instant gratification. You chose the validation of strangers who don't even like you. Even with these products, they don't even care about you. You are literally a blimp on their mind. But that was enough for you. Do not allow that to ruin your life and to lead you down the life of a normal person. Because they fucking hate their lives. They literally work for as long as they live. The average person. I wouldn't wish that on anyone that I fucking like, bros. That's such a shame. Like, you know, we're not, every time I mention shit of like, oh, you know, the average person who works a 9 to 5 and everything, and everyone's like, oh, but you know, he could be a good dad and everything. Yeah, like, yeah, fair enough. Of course he could have good qualities about him. But that doesn't mean that he's living the most ideal life or anything. And yeah, he could be a good man even if he's a janitor. Yeah, nice one. Of course he could. But could his life be improved if he did more of, the right things? Yeah, of course. I don't know, man. I just wanted to go on a fucking rant because watching this video and getting ready to buy a fucking phone just made me think, like, what am I doing, bro? Like, I didn't even make the purchase, obviously. And I just journaled. I'll post a picture to this on my Instagram story as well, so you might read it there, but it's well done. I was just debating to spend 1.3k on the newest iPhone because it would be a company expense, but I decided against it in favor of minimalism. It's unnecessary, and even with reducing the company profits, therefore reducing the tax owed, it would still mean spending 1.1k on a new phone like some normal person. So the idea that I was slightly rationalizing is because I'd be able to put it onto company expenses. It would reduce the profit and then you pay less tax. But even then, like, I've done research on this. A lot of people have been telling me, oh, you know, like, if you put it on the company, like, you don't get as much of a discount as you think. You're still spending a fucking £1,000 on like a phone. And yeah, your tax bill is 19% less, but you've still got that expense that you've literally spent that money, minus 19%. Oh, but you know, you need the phone. No, you don't, bro. Thoughts of the lessons Alex Becker taught me popped up. When entrepreneurs make good money, most of them just start spending. Lifestyle inflation. Those guys are no competition. It's the guys that cut their own hair, drive shit cars, and reinvest all that money back into their businesses that dominate. I'm so grateful for this wisdom. Since I started making money, I haven't bought any stupid materialistic purchases. I've spent on experiences and reinvested back into the business. I have fuck you money, and it feels as good as everyone said it would. I've been able to be generous, pay my team well, tip service staff, all whilst enjoying myself. And that actually, the last few words there is very important, enjoyment. This is the last thing I'll say because this video is long as fuck. This is actually something I mentioned to Chris, so from First Man. He made a video on the exponential gap between guys who do the right things and don't do the right things. I told him my story. And I said, you know what? So for 7 years I've been lifting weights, building this body, trying to get into diet and everything. And for 2 years I've been onto self-improvement, mental health, productivity, entrepreneurship and everything. So 7 years total. In these 7 years, whilst I've been trying to do the right things, or even the last two, let's just say the last 2 years, right? in the last 2 years, I guarantee that I've had more fun and enjoyment than the people who've been just chasing pleasure and instant gratification. That's very interesting, isn't it? Even if, let's say, COVID wasn't a thing or anything, that the guys who play video games, that the guys who spend money on fucking iPhones and go to the pub and, you know, they're having fun, and they're the guys who are going to comment, like some 40-year-old prick will comment on this video, be like, oh, but life is for enjoyment, or all this shit. Trust me when I say, like, they're having less enjoyment than the guy who actually stays minimal and actually just focuses on his craft and enters a flow state every single day and, like, learns his, like, improves his skills, gets to spend time in nature, improving his mental health, being grateful. The guys that you see that are having fun, they're not having that much fun. When you, like, infiltrate that group, I know it sounds kind of autistic, but, like, I infiltrated the group of, like, you know, the normal the fucking normies, like the higher value normies, not just the average or the below average guys, but somewhat the higher average normies who, like, go out and party and hook up with girls, and, you know, you're having loads of fun, lads getting pints and shit. I infiltrated those fucking normies, and I'm telling you right now that they're actually not having that much fun. Most of the time when they're out, they're actually kind of bored. Most of the time when they're home, they're actually kind of bored. They want more of their life. They actually want to be on the same path that we are, but they literally just can't get themselves to do it because they're still addicted to that fucking pleasure, to the comfort that comes from playing fucking Xbox. They just can't be productive. This has been a long ass fucking rant video, but I hope it helps someone. Do the hard work, guys, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.